You ready?
Welcome to one. Oh, come on, man! You're back. You're gone 2 weeks. We have perfect introduction. Welcome to One More. I'm your host, Brian Erickson. Each week, we bring in two new guests. We sit them down on this big, comfy couch, and we find out why they do what they do. This week is no exception. We have Bill Greenwood and KL Martin joining us, and a special musical guest, Corey R.J. But first, making his I don't know, you haven't been back in 2 weeks. Yeah, triumphant return. Yeah, how's your car?
My car's fine.
Yeah.
I would like to spend special love to the small family that I bought it from for selling me a shit car. You guys kick ass.
How much you buy it for?
Let's not talk dollars, you know?
No,
my grandma always taught me to talk about money, especially when you're as rich as I am.
Yes.
It's the worst thing I've ever said. How are you doing, Brian?
Rich in friendship. And
that's
virtue.
the complete opposite of those two. The bad kind of rich.
You have neither one of those things.
Nope.
How was the Bond Street
Bond
Connor
Street-
Bracken's birthday?
The Bond Street Bracken birthday.
The Bond Bracken birthday bonanza.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was loud, very loud.
Of
We
course.
rocked, and we
he
also
plays
rolled.
that big guitar.
Yeah, those big
that makes
Marshall.
a lot of
yeah.
noise.
He's got a giant
Yeah,
Marshall
that big
stack.
Marshall guitar.
No, the big Marshall stack that he has, and like
The big.
I know the name of the company, but it's like some weird. It's like it's like similar to Hofner, but it's not Hofner.
Yeah, but
In
it's
any case,
big.
Yeah, and it's
it
loud.
makes a lot of loud noise.
And he jumps up on things. I love Connor Bracken. Sincerely, Connor, love you more than I love most people on this planet,
He's a good
girlfriend
dude.
included. He's a
good
great
dude.
guy.
Yeah.
Much better than like anyone else, besides maybe you. Anyway, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did we earlier make up that you played some kind of horn instrument before you played guitar? Did we make that up?
Did we make that? Oh,
Did
wow.
you play a
Should
horn guitar?
Should we remain a mystery?
No, that's why I asked you directly while we're on camera if you did or not.
Yeah, I played the saxophone.
Okay,
the
you
alto
played the saxophone. We were thinking it'd be funnier if you played French horn.
Why?
Because
Why?
it's just like you're
Because
big and
it's
tall. It's just a
funny
funny looking instrument. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it'd be even funnier if I played like the piccolo or something.
well,
But
yeah.
no, I played the saxophone. I can still play
Can
it.
you, like, do you
I mean,
ever
I
break it
can.
out?
I'm not like amazing at it, but I could get you something.
You can break
out of
out
it.
like the solo to Modern Love.
I played I played saxophone on a Miko Brando song.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's
so like
very
fairly
funny.
recent.
Is it out or is it?
Yeah, it's on their Bandcamp. It was like a Christmas single that they made.
And
Like they made a Christmas
Are you just
song.
like shredding sax on it?
I'm not shredding, but they just asked
Can
me
you
to
shred
do a little
s-
something.
What is the saxophone equivalent of shredding? Blast it blowing?
The song
Tootin'?
Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty.
I would agree. Yes, that's like top 3 most legendary saxophone solos.
Yeah, and of course Careless
Whisper, of course.
and the solo to Jungle Land.
I would say Jungle Land's up there.
That's Jungle Land's probably the number one.
Number 1, and then
sax
number 2 is
solo.
Careless Whisperer. Number 3 is Yakety Sax. Number 4, Benny Hill Theme. Number 5, that first one you mentioned that I totally forget, Baker Street.
Oh yeah, Baker. I mean, that's a great song.
Classic.
too. I love that.
Classic song. Classic.
70s.
You know, the best
The
years.
fist fight scene in Good Will Hunting.
Is that what's playing?
Which they.
Okay, let's get some Good Will Hunting trivia.
Which apparently.
I'm so happy to be back. I missed
they
it so much.
which apparently they filmed in normal speed and had them throw the punches in slow motion,
I believe that.
which is a weird choice on Gus Van
I
Sant's
wanna-
part, a director who has made a lot of weird choices
Yeah.
in his
Speaking
career.
of not weird choices, we've got 2 great choices for guests this week.
We
and we were
do.
having a hard time choosing which one goes first. So,
but
Brian,
I think we decided.
I wasn't there for that decision, ladies and gentlemen.
He is the PR coordinator of Jaybird Communications, manager of 3-time Asbury Award nominated band The Paper Jets, and one of my very best friends. Let us welcome Bill Greenwood.
You just referred to your own band as 3-time Asbury Award nominated.
Well,
I
it's
cannot
not
believe-
inaccurate.
I know, but
and if it wasn't my band and a band he was managing had been nominated 3 times in a row, I would mention that.
No,
you got to establish credentials
listen,
somehow.
Is
What do you want me to
managing
do?
the paper jets the worst mistake of your life, or is second
I'm just
worst?
gonna
I'll
go
tell
ahead.
you, I love it.
I'm gonna go ahead and
second of
just
it.
put this. Go ahead, Chris. You know, Jesus, take the wheel.
Okay, Bill. In terms of the most handsome boys
his
you've
legs.
ever met. No. Take your questions.
Jesse Marchese, if you're watching.
Number
Who is
one
that?
handsome
Who's
boy.
that?
He was the guy that sang at my wedding. He sang "Memory" by Cats, and then later in the night, he sang that "Shallow" by Lady Gaga from the *Stars Born* soundtrack.
Crap! Did I miss both
When
of
was
those?
that wedding?
I think you
Oh,
missed
that was-
both of those
Definitely missed
things.
both of those. Yeah.
Real. Does that mean was your wedding song "Memories" from Cats?
No, it was
No,
just. It was just.
dude. They
on
had the
playlist.
best wedding
Okay.
song. They had the
Yeah.
best
What was your
wedding
wedding
song.
It was.
Is that a rude question?
Yeah, it's a cool question.
No, I thought it was a rude question to ask what someone's wedding song was.
No,
I'm learning wedding.
Let him
etiquette.
answer this.
Yeah,
Let
I'm
him
sorry, what was
answer.
It was "This Will Be Our Year" by the
It's
Zombies.
a great wedding
That's a
song,
good
right?
choice.
Yeah.
That's actually really. That's
It was very nerve-wracking though, because I'm not a dancer, and it's
you
a little
guys-
bit faster than your traditional like.
You want to show me? You want to show me the moves?
you want to
No,
dance real quick?
I do not want
You
to.
want to show me the moves?
I do not
looks
wanna
like two
dance.
guys are dancing.
You can do it.
No, I need you to show me because you have to lead.
Nah, I'm okay.
Oh, I thought we were
Sorry.
gonna have like a true late night moment. You know,
Two
where the
men
guests-
dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two bearded men dancing.
What-
I've seen that on late night TV.
Just
right?
rub our beards together for fire.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Like that had to have happened at some point, right? I bet you if I was Craig Ferguson, you would have gotten up and danced.
Yeah, maybe if you were Craig Ferguson.
All right, well, I'm not, so. So yeah, congratulations, man. You're married.
I'm married.
That's a big
yes.
deal.
Thank you.
Right? A couple weeks ago now, right? Almost a month.
Yeah, October 20th.
Wow, that's a month tomorrow.
Indeed.
Excellent. Yeah, you and your lovely wife Adrian.
Yes.
So how's that going?
It's awesome, man. I mean,
The ceremony was apparently very lovely.
yeah. Well, you were there for some of it.
Not the ceremony.
Oh yeah, not the ceremony.
Yeah, it took me 4 hours to get there.
Yeah, sorry about the subways.
No, not your fault. It sucked.
7 train was down. Now it's going to be down a lot more.
Yeah, well, there
Once
goes
Amazon comes into
Brooklyn.
town.
That's it. There it goes.
Yeah. Goodbye, Long Island City.
Bye Brooklyn. Bye Queens.
But no, it's really cool. I mean,
Yeah?
it's not unlike life before we got married, except I don't know.
Did you change your name?
She is going to, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I was going to say more legally binding now.
Yeah, and
Like you
and I'm glad
change
that
your
it is.
your
I mean,
filing status.
yeah, it's like we were more or less married anyway, so might as well make it official.
Yeah, no, and I can respect that. They always say like things change in subtle ways after you're married, but I don't know. I mean, granted,
definitely,
the many times I've been married, I have no real perspective on any of this.
Well, I have to make an effort to say my wife without the Borat accent,
Yes.
which is
But that's,
hard.
that's the funniest thing you can do,
Well, she gave
and
me
I'll
a limit.
declare that.
She said I can only do it 5 times
That's
throughout the rest of my life in reference to her.
Oh, you're gonna earn those 5 times.
Yeah,
Though.
and I've already used it twice by accident.
Oh, come on.
So
I think you
Now-
get a couple of freebies too.
Oh man, that's like.
thanks, Adrian.
That sucks.
Thank you.
You only have 3 more. You've been married for
A month.
a month. You've
already
already
burned through-
burned 2 of them.
2. Yeah,
Oh man.
that's life.
Yeah, that's oof, man.
You're visibly upset, Brian.
Well, this has been one more.
Thanks so much.
Brian's like,
Thanks.
that's why I'm getting
sorry,
married one
sorry,
day. That's
KL.
the whole reason.
Like, we'll get you next time, man. That's
man,
it.
that brought
So
Brian
we
down.
met in college.
We
right?
did, right at
We met
university.
in college. Yeah, go Bronx.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. Right?
Did you look
Yeah,
that
we-
up? You looked it up, didn't
It's
you?
like go
The Bronx Zoo, remember? That was the gym.
Bronx. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Bronx, right here.
But we met at the radio
Not
station.
the Broncos. The
Yeah, no, the
Bronx,
Bronx.
because they didn't want to pay.
We're too cool for the O.
I think the Broncos were cooler, but I don't know. It's fine. Whatever.
But the cool thing about Ryder was the radio station and the newspaper.
I just had that right here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that you had one of the better. It's right here. You had one of the better shows on our college radio station.
Oh, well, thank you.
But when we met, you were kind of like the rock guy.
I was fully into emo.
Well, yeah, but weren't no? Did I get this wrong?
I
Did
was
our
such an emo
producers
kid.
do a bad job again? Well, I thought.
Talk to me about emo. Talk to me about that.
Yeah.
Let's
I
unpack.
was just all about all the big, bands. That
No, I'm
were-
gonna make you
Well,
name
because
bands.
Okay,
this
fine.
was
Take
think
It
about
Back
this.
Sunday,
This was the early 2000s, so
Fall
this
Out
was
Boy.
You were like in it.
this was
Yeah,
like
I
emo
was
mania.
fully all
I
about
look
it.
no disrespect, but I love finding emos in recovery. They're a very special breed of people.
Yeah, well, we all kind of go.
Well, that
you
one
have
Get Up
sort of
Kids
moment where
album.
You go toward indie,
Yeah,
and then you always have that emo thing in the back of your head.
it's always there. I'm always gonna be that little sad boy that loved Say Anything more than anything else in this world.
I
Like,
mean,
it's
that
always
first
in me.
record's a classic.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
but
so
like,
good. I still listen to that.
yeah, I was listening to
And
it like last week. Ugh.
They got so bad, but now they've got like these 3 new singles, and they're all kind of okay.
Okay, we'll see. I was
So-
okay with a couple of the last albums. We're not here to talk about Say Anything,
Yeah,
though, but we
all right.
could all night tune in for our wrap-up show. Say anything about it. Say anything.
Yes.
But so yeah, you were kind of this emo guy. What did having like how did your experience at that radio station kind of change your fanhood as a listener?
It definitely opened me up.
Yeah.
Because I was very much in my bubble, and for some reason I really hated Oasis at that point in time.
That is totally
That's valid.
that's
But-
not the wrong answer. Like
Yeah.
that's the correct answer.
But my co-host Maureen, she was like the world's biggest
Never heard
Oasis
of her.
fan, and every episode we would end with an Oasis song and a CKY song. So I was really into the band CKY.
Wow. Oh my God.
And I didn't realize, like, I thought Oasis was just Wonderwall and ballads, and I didn't realize that they had like some really rockin' songs.
I'll say this. Oh man, this is gonna be. You're gonna just pour gasoline. I love their song "The Hindu Times," which was
Oh, yeah.
late,
That's
like
actually-
a
that's not a bad
later.
song.
Some late period Oasis.
That's a late career Oasis. That's a banger of a tune, though. I remember that song. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
And I remember too when we were kind of coming up at the station together, there was like, it's funny because you could sort of see like the little embers of the scene we have today. Like Jamie from Alpha Rabbit hosted a show on that same station. Connor from Roy Orbitron, he was played a show at the pub in his old band Pigeons.
I didn't know that.
Before he started Roy Orbitron, yeah.
That's cool.
And Ricky from YJY was in the Timid Roosevelts, and so I mean there were
beginnings of the Paper
people
Jets.
that that too, but
What was it? The Cow Duck Sessions? That,
something like
the album?
that. Well, because we saw. We're not going to talk about that dumb shit. But
You're not gonna talk about
Search it
3-time
out, ladies and
Asper Award
gentlemen.
nominated band, the Paper
the
Jets.
Paper Jets, yeah, no, December 7th, Asbury Lanes, be there.
I'll be there. My best friend
sure.
Brian will be there.
So yeah, well, you're going to be playing. You better be there. But
see if I can make it out.
how keyed into you were, or how keyed into that were you, if at all? Were you kind of like, because Jamie from Alpha Rabbit, like, she hosted a local music show. Like, were you kind of keyed into that at all? Because in the way that you kind of are now.
Not at the time. I mean, I knew that people at the radio station had bands, and I listened to them and liked them a lot. And I played stuff from your early bands and stuff from the Timid Roosevelts on the show. But like, I wasn't really into going to the local nights at that point. I was more of a mainstream rocker kind of guy.
Breaking Benjamin kind of guy.
God,
Big new metal guy.
I had a new metal phase.
You remember
Is this
that
new
time?
metal Nook?
Okay. You remember that
I,
time?
I have many shameful musical phases.
Okay. You know what's okay? So our musical guest, Corey, right?
Hey, Corey.
I was on a date with
Corey.
his girlfriend's sister, and I texted you, "Who does that song? Ooh wah ah ah ah." At like 2:30 in the morning. We were at a diner.
Oh yeah.
At like 2:30 in the morning, just chit-chatting and stuff like that, and I couldn't remember. That's who it was. We
Yep.
bring it full circle.
Disturbed.
That's it.
Was it
Thank
Disturbed?
You saved
yeah.
me. You know.
That Down with the Sickness song.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a good song. And that, thanks to
Did you hear that
That's why I thought you were a rock guy, I guess. Like,
well, I
back
had that side to me for sure. Like I definitely liked a lot of hard rock bands, but I was starting to come out of that when I was in when I was coming into college. Like that was me in high school. Was like a lot of new metal, a lot of hard rock. Then I sort of softened into like punk and pop punk and emo, and then that led into indie, into me becoming the sort of hopefully well-rounded music fan that I am today.
Yeah, omnivorous. Even.
Yes, yeah.
And you left right. You became a journalist.
Indeed.
For a while.
Yeah,
And,
I was a reporter for
Fox News.
Oh God.
News Corp. Well, they prefer to be called News Corp. It sounds a little more innocuous, right?
Thankfully, I was not a reporter for News Corp or Fox News. No. I was at the South Brunswick Post and the Cranberry Press, which
competitors of theirs.
Yeah, yeah, they were Packet Publications newspapers.
Oh, okay, Princeton Packet, yeah.
Yeah, so I worked there for a year, and then I went to a magazine called a company called Information Today Incorporated, and I was the assistant editor at 3 of their monthly magazines. Okay. So that's Information Today, Streaming Media, and a magazine called Computers and Libraries, which I did not contribute a whole lot to.
And then you left the lucrative world of print journalism and ended up in PR, which is what you're doing now, which is more or less kind of why you're here. You're here because you're my buddy, and I like talking to you. And we do this a lot on the phone. Yeah. We talk about where you came from and all that stuff when we get on the phone together.
Whenever we get on the phone, it's like at least a 2-hour conversation.
But we always start with the origin story.
Exactly.
Just for I don't know. I'm losing.
As a warm up.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's just we're doing our scales.
Yeah. I mean, it helps. Being a reporter first. A lot of PR is pitching press outlets, pitching reporters. So I had a sense of what I liked to, when people were pitching me. So I could apply that to what I was pitching other people.
Yeah, and the company you work for, it's called Jaybird Communications. Now, where does that sit? Because this isn't like, do PR, when like the Tylenol safety seal is pierced and they have to do a recall. Like this is music industry PR, right? This isn't just band to band; it's like business to business,
right?
So how does that sit in the music industry? What do you guys do?
So we're very specialized in like music trade and business type stuff. Most of the companies that we work with are at the sort of the intersection of music and tech.
Okay.
So for example, like we've got Mixcloud, which is a streaming service for long form audio, like podcasts and radio shows and DJ sets.
Okay.
And they have technology that lets them identify the songs that are in the mix or in the show, and they make sure that the artists get paid through Sound Exchange.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you have a podcast and you're playing music, it helps.
Which I definitely do.
Yeah.
The Beatles are not getting paid on my podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So like that's one, and then we work with individuals. We work with a sample clearance expert named Deborah Manis Gardner, who cleared all the samples on the Eminem, Nicki Minaj, and Drake albums that came out this year.
Really?
Yeah, and she also did the music supervision for the Defiant Ones, which is that HBO documentary about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre.
So you said sample clear. So how do you do how's sample clearance work for a film?
Well, for the film, it's not samples that you're clearing. Okay. It's that you're clearing songs.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I got confused for a second.
Oh no, it's fine.
I don't know.
I'm happy to clarify.
Cool.
But yeah, she's amazing.
So how does it feel to kind of be close to that, pretty relevant stuff, that's happening? Because those are all, you're not like, clearing stuff for, no offense, but just some kind of small time thing. Like those are, those are pretty big deal acts. Like, how does it feel for you as an individual to be a part of that?
It feels good. It feels good to have the doors be open and to have, reporters that publications like, Billboard and Variety that know me personally. And it just feels amazing to get this stuff out there and known. I mean, a lot of what we work with are tools that help indie musicians get paid fairly, do things that labels would typically do for them, just kind of trying to open doors for talented people.
Now, I remember whenever it was 2-3 years ago, we were having one of our very long phone conversations. At one point, you said to me, you're like, Brian, don't tell anybody. Do you know what's coming?
I don't know, but that's never a good start.
But but you were like, don't tell anybody. It has not been announced yet. You cannot tell anyone that the Monkees are reuniting and they're releasing a new album.
Yes.
You can't tell anybody this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
That was
like,
some hot goss at the
and
time.
I'm like, I'm like, he just dropped the hot ass goss.
No, that album,
Hey,
whips ass.
Thank you.
That album,
Thank
I mean,
you.
they got the best songwriters around to write it.
Dude, they got Andy Partridge to come out from his villa in I don't know, the Alps.
I was really happy where that ended.
Where else would it end?
I like
You're in
that.
the Alps.
Yeah, no, that was good.
But you're right. They got great writers to come
The
in.
Ben
Rivers
Gibbard
Cuomo,
song.
right?
Rivers
wrote a
Cuomo,
song.
Ben Gibbard. They exhumed the soul of Harry Nilsson for a really good song too. Like that.
Yeah.
That was a good record. But my question, as we digress and talk about the Monkees' comeback album from
Yes.
2016, 2015.
I thought that's
And
what
the
this
reason-
episode was entirely about.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I knew that was because one of our clients at the time was the Music Business Association. They have this big conference out in Nashville every year, and they were going to have the Monkees there to receive an award, and that, just kind of on the calls, it was being kind of very offhandedly oh yeah, the Monkees, they got a comeback album coming out.
Did they all go? Did they
Oh,
accept
really?
the award? Did Nesmith go, or was he just
Yeah,
like,
he was
no,
there.
thanks. I got my whiteout money. I'm good.
Oh yeah, Nesmith was there.
Yeah.
I knew you knew that fact.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I knew you were going to find a way to
was
drop
there.
the fact that Mike Nesmith is the grandson of the girl who invented Whiteout.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you for
correct.
that.
Yeah, he didn't need the money.
No, of course he didn't.
Money
He was
does
just
it for-
monkeying around.
Yeah.
He's too busy singing to bring
All
anybody
right,
down.
okay.
Bill.
But my question, and I know it's my own fault because I'm supposed to, be the one to keep things going. But my question is, what is the best or coolest or most interesting sort of inside info, I guess, that you were privy to before the rest of the world was, a la the Monkees' comeback album or something like that, but cooler.
Let me think. I think I heard that there was an Adele album coming out before it was announced.
Oh yeah, what,
Yeah.
25?
Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah, which was crazy
because people didn't really know.
And you know
'cause
what?
People didn't really know that she was gonna do it.
Right. Actually, speaking of Adele, before I started working,
she's got another one.
No. Before I started working at
Dude, that'd be
Jaybird,
pretty great if you were like, yeah, by the way, Adele's
you
next
heard it
record
here first on One More with Brian Erickson
next week.
No. I have no more knowledge of Adele. But actually, while I was interning at Sony Music for a bit, and I was there when 21 was about to come out.
Okay.
So Rolling in the Deep had come out as a single, and I remember I was in the office, and she was doing a live performance at, I think, the Ed Sullivan Theater, and people were watching it, and they were like, this is crazy. This is going to blow up.
Yeah.
And the halls were sort of alive with that feeling of we've got this album and it's amazing and it's just going to take over the world. But I don't think anyone knew it was going to take over the world to the extent that it did.
Wow.
But it was just kind of cool to be around.
Yeah, and to feel that palpable energy.
To feel people at a major label getting excited about music. Everyone.
I imagine that didn't happen often.
No, because everyone there is so jaded.
Yeah. That's wow, we finally have a huge seller on our hands. That's really cool.
And an album that we like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not another like Michael Bolton, type of joint.
Yeah.
So you're in New York City.
I am.
It's around 2010, 2011. You're working with a band called Roosevelt Dime.
Right.
Obviously, you were starting to work with us too around that same time with the Paper Jets. What kind of, this is kind of a silly question, but what kind of advice would you give to a band that's looking for some type of PR, some type of promotional effort?
I would say you have to have a certain degree of organization already. Like, you have to be, like, one of the main fallacies that people believe about PR is that when you hire someone to do PR for you, that you don't have to think about it. This person just like, oh, they're going to handle the PR, which is not the case. You actually have to think about it way more, because you have to tell us what you want us to promote,
Yeah.
So often we'll do like weekly calls or bi-weekly calls, like whatever. And we're probably emailing you a couple of times a day to get, stuff, pictures, bios. Well, typically we write the bios, stuff like that. So you have to be ready to really push hard. The other advice that I would give to indie bands is you have to be patient. You finish a record, you want to get it out into the world, but you need to take a step back and build some hype.
Yeah.
So that people will actually want to listen to the thing.
Okay.
Only Beyonce could drop an album and have people go crazy.
Yeah.
That doesn't just happen.
Yeah, you hear that, Roy Orbitron? You've done it twice now.
Oh, sorry, Roy.
Yeah, no.
Damn it,
Done
Connor.
twice now.
This whole interview was just a chance to get one dig at Connor.
Well, I mean,
And let me tell you, worth it.
Oh, 100%.
You'd do it again.
Oh yeah, I mean, these aren't things we haven't said in person to him.
To
either.
his face.
This is not insider info here. So, how has your experience working directly with kind of local bands helped shape you as a fan of music? Because you say that these people at Sony, kind of walk around and they're jaded. They've been through it. They've seen it all. Like, how has? And I'm not saying anybody you've worked with is on that level, but clearly, the experience leaves you feeling some type of way.
Yeah. Geez. I mean, there are definitely points where, I've been low. I think you know what I'm talking about when I say Rochester, New York. That was a low point.
Okay. We got naked on stage.
Yeah, but then there's moments like when Cooking Up an Accident got played on Radio 104.5, and I got to have my little That Thing You Do moment, calling all you guys and being like, turn on the radio right now, you've got to hear this.
That was a good moment. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what band you're talking about, but that was a good a good moment.
There's ups and downs.
What are you looking at,
just
Chris?
I'm still caught on the naked in Rochester moment that just happened a little while back.
Oh yeah,
Well,
we just moved right past. So keep going, Bill.
Not naked, shirtless.
Do we have time for a story?
Rochester.
Kale, you're getting bumped. We got to
We
get
have
this story.
a photo of that. We have photo
Yes.
evidence.
Was it
There's
just
photo
the
evidence.
Paper Jets got shirtless in Rochester, New York?
It was, I forget the name of the venue even. Was it Monty's Crown?
Yeah, it was Monty's Crown. Famous for having the worst restroom in upstate New York.
Oh, terrible.
Like,
Is
they
it-
advertised.
And how bad is the restroom?
It actually wasn't that bad. I was expecting train spotting.
Yeah, like a train spotting thing.
And
You
it
said you
was
got like
like-
an AC Moore.
Yeah.
I was in AC Moore earlier
No,
today. It
I
was the
gonna-
nastiest
I was
bathroom
gonna say
playground.
like a an Okie Dokie bathroom. You remember the Okie Dokie, the
What?
official restaurant of
No,
the 90s?
Dad, I don't.
Well, no, I'm just trying to pick
I
out a
don't. What is
crappy
Okie
restaurant.
Dokie?
All right, I grew up on Long Island. You know what,
Oh,
guys?
you grew up on Long Island. There, okie dokie. Taking the F train. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
It was just a crappy restaurant bathroom.
Okay, there you go. Why'd you mention Long Island?
I'm saying maybe it was a Long Island centric restaurant. Maybe it was a regional chain of
You
restaurants.
took the queue up to the to get
No,
an
we
okie
didn't. There was no queue there.
I don't know Long Island subways. I don't even know if there are
all
subways.
right, come on.
Bill, of all the members of the Paper Jets, who's the one that you hate the most, and why is it Brian?
Oh no, it's got to be. I mean, I'm just gonna say it's got to be Scotty. Gotta hate Scotty the most.
He's not a member anymore.
Yeah, so we can talk. We can talk a little smack.
We're bringing Scotty on next week.
That's
We're gonna
fine.
settle
No,
that.
that's,
It's like Maury.
Gotta
But
be-
so the story is we were at this show in Rochester at this crappy venue, and no one was there. Like, we were just playing to nobody, and we weren't even playing to the bartender because the bar was separate.
it's separate, like a back room.
So you're
they
just in a
shoved us.
room playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just they
We've
were
all been
playing to me and Lisa, who is our tour
Our tour
manager, and like it just the crappiness just washed over the band all at once. And like I forget who did it first, but someone took their shirt off, and then within 2 minutes, everyone else in the band had their shirts off.
It was balls to the pick guard.
Yeah, there were 3 like unrehearsed Green Day covers, one
In
of
which
which I
everybody
like
else
sang
from
with
the
the lyrics
bar-
on my cell phone.
Yeah, but then the people from the bar came in, and then when we stopped playing Green Day, they left.
Yeah, exactly. So
So-
it was just a nightmare show, but we survived. Here we are, new album coming out.
December 7th at the
December
Asbury
7th,
Lanes.
Every
I'll
Day
be there.
Forever.
My best friend Brian will be there.
Yeah. Okay, so because Matt gave us like the wrap up like 20 minutes
Oh,
ago.
sorry.
No,
All right.
no,
Oh,
it's
yeah, we still
okay.
have to
Hey,
interview.
you know,
And
this
are we
this
still
is
what
live?
happens when we
Is this still
talk.
filming?
I know, it's great. I can't wait to get a beer afterward. So my final question, so that we can land this plane,
Land this paper jet.
is December 7th in Asbury Lanes.
Yes.
Be there. I got tickets.
I got tickets.
What does a peaceful future look like for Bill Greenwood? Because now that the Paper Jets business is basically being settled on December 7th at Asbury Lanes.
Yeah, Asbury Lanes.
With what's going to be probably the final show. I know you don't like us talking that way, but
It's out there now.
so that seems to kind of be settled. You're a married man now. You seem to be pretty secure with this job, in the music biz, like doing pretty cool things, being privy to these interesting experiences. Does a peaceful future for Bill Greenwood involve music in the capacity that you've been doing, working with bands on a local level for the last few years, or is that something that you might be prepared to kind of step away from for a little bit?
I like that.
Yeah?
It's a completely different kind of PR from what I do.
Sick breed.
Well, it's a completely different kind of thing from what I do at Jaybird, because at Jaybird we're pitching completely different outlets. Music trades are like Billboard, Variety. There's a Hits Daily Double, Music Week, a lot of places overseas in the UK. When you're pitching a band, you're looking at Paste, Pitchfork, a whole new thing, and I kind of want to have that full experience.
Yeah.
So I see myself at Jaybird for a long time. I just got promoted to account manager, which is
All right.
excellent. Thank
That's
you.
very good. Very
Thanks,
good.
Lori.
Is she watching?
I hope so.
Excellent.
Yeah, probably trying to see if I screw up too badly.
No, you're fine. This is great. Jaybird Communications
Yeah.
for all your PR needs.
Indeed.
You could cut that. You could
Listen,
use
buddy,
that.
I read the ads here, okay?
Sorry. All right.
Okay. All right, so I should probably get going.
He just ended his own interview. That was fantastic.
Bill Greenwood, everybody.
Bill just ended his own interview. I wish I could. Why don't we just do this? We should probably wrap this up. Hey, one more. Sponsored by You Don't Know Jersey. Founded in 2010 by Alice and Ed Maziak. You Don't Know Jersey has been covering all the best music, food, sports, arts, and cultural events that the Garden State has to offer for nearly a decade. Hey, Brian, weren't you just messaging your parents threatening to not come home for Thanksgiving, resolving instead to enjoy the savory turkey mashed platter at the Vincetown Diner?
Yes.
You were. Don't argue. We have your phone tapped for security purposes. You were just us. You were. It's fine. We can talk after the show. That's the worst one he's ever written.
You just gave away that I write the
No,
jokes.
we've revealed that multiple times.
Have
Hey,
we?
KL, didn't you just ask where to find the Odell Beckham Jr.'s Hair Grow Like contest sponsored by 18877 Cars for Kids? Yeah, you were, you salty son of a bitch. Also, Cars for Kids is a scam. So, whether you're in High Point, Cape May, or anywhere in between, check out YouDon'tKnowJersey.com for all the latest. You don't know Jersey, but they certainly do. Not their slogan. I love you, Alice and Ed. Brian.
He's a writer, comedian, and the founder of 3143 Artist Management. Let us welcome KL Martin.
Make sure you a wide angle lens, right?
Yeah,
How are you?
Is he gonna be like? I'm being serious. Is he gonna be in shot?
Okay, here, hold on. That is low. Oh, it's low. Yeah, that's
Basically, the best way I can explain, you sitting on this couch looks like how they filmed The Lord of the Rings.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
100%. I don't think I can get back up out of this couch.
You're good. You can just chill there for a while.
Yeah, I'll be here for the rest of my
Spread
life.
out.
Yeah. How you guys doing? How are
Good,
you?
good. How are you? Good to have you.
You know, tall.
It's been a little while, right?
Been a while.
Yeah,
It's been 2
been a while.
weeks, right?
Yeah.
You look good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You know, working on my girlish figure. You know, a lot
That's
of running.
good. Yeah, no, you got the
Lot of
curves in all the right places.
My man, I like that. That's
Right?
I'm doing it for you. At least you know
You
that.
shouldn't. You should do it for you. You
Oh,
really need to.
come
That's-
on, man.
You do you.
Matt Smith is currently adjusting the camera angle to fit KL.
I knew
in
it.
frame.
I knew it. I was like, what's he doing? What's he doing? God damn it. All right. Yeah, get those wide angles. Can't get me
I can get you a
shorter.
shorter couch. I can get you a shorter couch by 3 p.m.
Yeah, with nail polish.
With nail polish.
Yeah, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
This is a firm couch.
It's not at all. It's falling apart.
It's really.
So
it's
I'm not gonna lie to you. I
weird-
was afraid to lean back.
Nah, you're fine.
I
You're
mean-
fine. It's wide enough.
If it breaks, that makes for good television.
Oh, 100%.
That's great TV.
But you have to Dick Van Dyke it. Like you'd have to like.
Oh
do the
yeah, well
flip.
we got the sound effect ready to go for whatever I
sweet.
trip. It just goes whoop, boom.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know the Larry David Curb Your Enthusiasm thing? You know that's just basically a rewrite of the Dick Van Dyke.
I think it's just like old music, just all sounded the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like marches from the 1800s kind of all have the exact same thing going on.
Well, because they were all written by Jean-Philippe Sousa.
Oh, Jean-Philippe Sousa? We're talking Jean-Philippe? We're talking Jean-Philippe? No, I
said
didn't know
that-
you were
he-
going to bring up Jean-Philippe
He said that in his French yacht club voice.
All
That's
right.
what that was. That's what.
French Mock
What's
Club.
wrong
What
with-
is this? When Pete Mantis eats a baguette?
Oh my God. Oh man, don't start.
I would love to know how many people he owes money to.
Pete Mantis, we love you.
Hi-oh.
Man.
Oh, jeez, that was a good line. I like that a lot. I'm going to
Yes.
start using that. KL, let's talk
Give
about
us a
that
show.
cardigan.
Yes, this cardigan. I'm going
Where do you
for-
find clothes? Do you go to like Big and Tall?
I get blankets and then I make them into sleeves, and that's just the first part. of the
Where'd you get
process.
those? You got a denim blanket?
Yeah, denim blanket. This is a cable knit, whatever, from actual cables. They just look, you know.
Yeah, they cut off
Like
the-
wire works,
wire
like
words.
suspension bridge.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, these buttons are actually hubcaps from my car. It's
Like
it's a
they look
project.
like old
It's a project.
Caprice hubcaps.
Yeah,
like the dog
exactly.
dish.
Like you know the
hubcaps.
one that Hightower got into in the police academy. And
I
he had to
know the
pull-
one that
that
Hightower
car
got-
right
yes.
there. That was actually my first car, so don't laugh. That's cool.
No, that's great.
Yeah, I mean I had to sit in the back seat, but that's that's life.
Yeah,
that's
you
what
take
it
out
is.
the front seat and you just.
I just want to say I'm mad at Bill because
This-
Bill,
our Bill here, Bill Greenwood?
What happened was while you were talking, I started I fell into the YouTube hole and ended up watching like a Creed video from like the Super Bowl. I almost charged at you
Did
here.
Creed play the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
I
they
miss
did like
that?
a halftime show or something like that.
Creed?
I don't
the
think,
band?
definitely not
I think
the
it was-
Super Bowl.
or
Like
was it
maybe a
like the
football
Cowboys
game.
or something. Something the
No,
Cowboys
wait,
would do.
they did not. Well, the Cowboys haven't been in a Super Bowl since what, 93,
I'm
94?
so happy you said that. That's amazing. Oh God, Matt, you stop it right now. But yeah, I was watching that and I go, wow, this is what music was in the '90s. This
And it
is
kicked ass.
Oh come on! Now. I was in the emo thing too.
Yeah? You're a big emo guy?
100%.
Yeah?
Really, really.
Well,
Actually,
anything he did, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
About. He's
a big-
6'11".
Well played. Yes.
You looked really disappointed in that joke, Brian.
I mean, we
I
talked.
mean, I'm not landing any. My lines aren't really landing
Oh,
tonight.
they seem
you're
to be
doing
landing.
great. You're
They
doing
seem-
great.
You seem to be doing all right. Your hair looks great.
I mean, this is just.
You just woke up like this. Is that what this is?
I always wake up like this.
But
So,
yeah, go ahead.
so, yeah. Maybe we start the question.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
But no. So you, I don't know how long you kind of been around, but I sort of took notice of you. Not really not that that's like the definitive thing. Like I only noticed, but I kind of took notice of you like half a year ago, inside of half a year ago, and you kind of jumped pretty head first into things.
Yeah,
and
I reside in the shadows. I mean, that could be a black joke, but whatever, it's fine.
And that's okay, because everybody at some point, you're not someplace and then you're there. And I had similar thing. Like I kind of just showed up like about 2 years ago. And I find that it's not how you show up. It's if you stick around and contribute to things,
especially in Asbury.
Yeah, and you sort of jumped right like head first into stuff. What was it about all these bands that kind of made you step up and say, I think I can help?
I think one of the things when I moved back to Jersey, I've told this story 100 times. I used to sneak down here when my hood cousins were going into the one side of Asbury. I was left on a boardwalk around what was the lanes and all the other stuff. And I've always had a pretty full attachment to this place. So when I came back, I knew that there are a lot of bands in this area that are super good, and there are bands that are not even close to as talented as most of the bands in this area. They have record deals, they tour, they do it themselves, or they have a booking company. And it just felt like after being out of music for so long, getting back in and being able to help as much as I can for those bands that I love, and even the ones that I can't, was something that I needed to do.
Yeah, and thinking about how you came, on board, do you feel like that because it was, it was crazy. Like you were here, and all of a sudden you're now like you're helping the Burns out, you're helping Dave Mooney out, you're helping Mercury Brothers and like Rachel Dobkin and we're Ghost, and all of a sudden like all these bands that I've seen around for as long as I've been around now, suddenly like you've got a little bit of a vested interest in a lot of this stuff. Now, do you feel as though, people who can be a little more guarded about their work could be a little put off by that?
Oh,
a little bit put off
absolutely.
by, just the abrupt, like, all right, here I am, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, but that's who I am. I just kind of like, I assess something very quickly, and then if I love something, I go 100% in whatever it is. And there are people who are far more open to being helped, and then there are those who, it's a co-managing thing, and then there's ones who want to do it their own way. But in the end, I think, for all intent and purposes, I think we all want to go to the same place, which is, as much as I love Asbury, it's to get out of Asbury.
Get in so you can get out.
Yeah, get in so you can get out. There are 8 venues. You run around here long enough, and then you want to get the hell out so you don't get stuck. And it's not a bad place to get stuck, but it's not the best place you want to get stuck if your aspirations are to play music professionally for the rest of your life.
What's more valuable, making someone feel comfortable or making them feel confident?
Confident. I think everyone gets comfortable. That's the problem. There's a lot of bands who are super comfortable here.
Well, in context of, working with a band.
Oh, definitely confidence, for sure.
Still,
100%. Because in the end, I think a lot of the bands could feel like, you're friends and you work with them and you do these things, but then there's a point where you have to have the ability or want the confidence to step out in front and do this. I know that my end game is not, there are times where I'll be around, but if I get them to a label, or they get themselves to a label, I've done my job. That's the important part to me, the confidence where at some point they can stand on their own 2 feet and do these things and get out of the norms of what they do. Being comfortable is great, but once you get comfortable with someone around you, things change, people disappear, they move on, and then you're still where you are.
Yeah.
Whereas if that person, if God forbid something happens to me and I've worked with you, you should still have that in you to be able to go forward as if no one's helping you and take what you've already done and make it better.
Okay. Now, one client needs to be talked off the ledge. One's passed out and might miss the show.
I've dealt with both of those.
And somebody else just wants to call you and like BS for a while. How important is it to be available for people in a couple of different capacities? Well, sometimes like one after another, you leave seeing one of these and then you there's your phone,
Yep.
and you get right on the phone. And how, like, what's that like? How important is it to be able to be available and to switch gears?
Yeah, for many, it's very important. For some, like the pass out types, you know what you're getting into. So it's more like every band is managed differently. There are some people you have to sit on the phone with for 2.5 hours. You have no choice. You may not necessarily care what they might have to say, but you know what? It comes with the job.
Okay.
Where there are people who are going to be at a bar and collapse, and I got to make sure he or she gets to their gig and sober them up. Definitely done that, but that's a part of the job. So I think you know that going in. That's the one thing. One of the things with these bands, I do a lot of research, and you know what that is. You don't go in there and go, oh crap, I did not see this coming, or it's like, all right, I don't want to deal with this, but let's do it, and that's how you work with it.
So you've got your company, 3143, but you definitely don't have 3,143 clients that you work with. So where'd the name come from?
So
Curious.
31 has been, number 31 has been my number in every sport I've ever played since I picked up.
Played in Germany.
Yeah, played professional basketball overseas for 13 years. And then 43 is actually micro four thirds, my favorite camera mount. As Matt will probably chuckle, I work with a lot of Black Magics, and it's a micro four third. So it's.
Why?
I knew he was gonna say.
Why?
I love micro four thirds. We'll talk. I'm telling you, I'll convince you. I swear.
No.
So micro four thirds and 31. So 31, 43. That's
Okay.
how I came to name.
Now let's talk about the kind of current roster that you've got, or the crop that you're sort of bringing up. You've got Arlen Files, you've got Dave Mooney, who we mentioned a little earlier. You got Ellis Wilkinson now. What is it about singer-songwriters that you are drawn to?
Well, because I think the world is really saturated with singer-songwriters, so it takes a lot to really. It's a challenge to bring them forward. So, like, for example, with Dave Mooney, which Chris Duval brought Dave Mooney to me, and we talked, and he's just this talented writer, and it's just like he's super good at what he does, and people just need to hear him, and that's very easy for me to do. Just put him out there to be seen. Arlen is a legend in that sense, and what he's done and where he's from, and
Great piano player.
unbelievable talent. I sat there with him and JT Bowen a couple of nights ago and watched him just come along with the song.
They just played here.
And it was during their rehearsal for this show, and it was amazing to watch. And I really like that. I mean, I try to build the band around them at some point, but to get them out there as singer-songwriters is a challenge. It's good because you want them to be seen for what their talent is and how good they are individually. And you draw attention to them as frontmen for their initial band, which is going to happen with Dave, which is happening with Ellis, and Arlen already had one, and now to put that out there even more, that makes it easier when people see these guys, and then it draws them in.
Okay.
And it's just a great challenge. I enjoy it, and they're super talented, and they all write so well. Like some of the best songwriters I can come across in Asbury Park for sure.
Now, you also work in film. You've got your film company, Kaleidosite Films, and I want to. I feel like this could be another 2-hour long.
Yes.
Conversation. But I want to touch on you helped film the video Lydia by the Foes of Fern. You were working with that. When you're directing a video like that, there's it's got to be a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, of course.
You've got all the extras, different scene changes, different changes of location. How do you keep all things working as smoothly as possible on something like that?
You don't.
Okay.
You don't. It's nearly impossible. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong when you're filming, especially when you're filming with only 3 to 4 people, or maybe you have a big set. You can be the most organized. Things are going to go wrong. Best example, I was filming Mercury Brothers Wanna Dance, and the video turned out, it was an amazing song, maybe a little biased, but whatever. But
No, it's a good song. I mean, I got no skin in the game. That's a good song.
So what happened was the initial idea was great. We had the concept. It was awesome. Within 4 hours, so we only had the one location. and I had my camera. And I just stood there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna figure this out. Just leave me alone for like a half hour. And I walked inside of Ryan LaSalle's house and up and down the stairs. And I came back and I did something on this notebook. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna do this. Call all your friends. Get them here. Bring whiskey. Get them drunk. We're gonna figure this out. And it came out really, really good. It was same thing with Little Vicious's video with at the Saint, which was there was an idea she had, but when she initially had the idea of, a bunch of camera phones filming this music video, it wasn't coming out right. And then at that point, I was like, all right, we're gonna do it this way, and that came out really well. So a lot of that organization is also thinking on the fly. Like, I would love to lie to you and say, oh, man, I planned for all of this stuff. Nah, fuck that. I messed up, and I knew, okay, this is what we got to do. Let's go here, 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 and here. And that's how you play the game, because no one's going to go in there and be perfect. It's almost impossible. So you have to expect to go wrong to get everything right.
Yeah. Now, you also perform stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how does getting up on stage yourself, and I mean, I'm sure you had experience, too, as an athlete, just obviously like playing in front of people, but how does getting up on stage help connect you to the musicians you work with and relate to, at least for some musicians' perspective, the anxiety of performing on stage?
Because I know what it feels like to be behind this and in front of these lights and all these people, and understand that, you're going to probably bomb, or it's not going to go well. Or you're going to do really well, and still, if you're really a perfectionist or care about your craft, you're probably going to think you sucked either way. And I know that feeling. I know that whether it's holding a camera, I know that whether it's getting up on stage as a comic, or holding, a meeting, or trying to pitch a project with people who I have to try to make money for. I relate to that. I love that feeling, though.
Yeah.
I love that feeling. It's an exhilarating feeling. Plus, honestly, I'm 6'10". I've been stared at my entire life. So this is like, I'm always on stage. I mean, by the time I walk out there, some old woman's going to ask me to reach for something on the top of something. That's just life. But I get where.
Well, that's like there's like a responsibility. I mean, I'm not 6'10". I'm 6'3".
You're a tall dude.
Chris, you're what, 6'2"?
He's a tall dude.
There's like a responsibility with being a tall person.
Exactly.
Where have you actually ever helped an old lady?
Yes.
Reach
several
for something
times.
or
I'll be in the Food Town, and the woman. I'm an approachable guy. As long as I'm talking and laughing, oh, that guy's harmless. So she walked by me and she goes, and she points. She didn't want to outright ask, and I'm like, yeah, sure, because the moment I go, hiya, I'm harmless. It's over. And I reach for her can of prunes or whatever the hell it was, and I hand it back. So that's
actually Del Monte French cut green beans.
This is your fault.
I don't know where that came from.
That was
but I
amazing.
approve of it.
This is, yes, Del Monte French cut green beans.
Yeah.
That's
best.
That's the old person bean of
Yeah.
choice.
Hey, I got grandmothers. I know what goes in those cabinets.
Yes, and they never leave those cabinets.
Nope.
They just
Green beans we got vintage green beans.
aged
in those
to perfection.
Oh God! Oh man!
They grow
I'll
new
I'll
green
give you
beans.
$50 to open up a can of those.
Yes.
Oh God!
It's growing new green beans inside of the can.
This has turned into like the worst MST3K riff we've ever done on the show, and nothing to do with you.
It's all me. It's my fault. I know. I get
so
it. I'm
excited
fired.
for whatever that might be.
So.
Control of the show.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
That's-
Yeah,
you,
like
as if
chaos
you've ever
tonight.
had
yeah, like
control.
that
Matt Smith.
control. You.
Out the window as soon as Brian came up.
So, as we kind of wrap up this interview here, between writing, film, stand-up, music, artist management, all this, juggle the occasional dinners with yours truly.
Yes.
Thanks for the invite.
You want to sit there for 3 hours? We'll talk about whatever.
Yeah, Chris, you don't want to be in on those conversations.
I think clearly I do.
Okay, well let's do it then.
Yes.
Next
dinner.
time,
A tall
let's do it.
It's like my dinner with Andre.
a
but
tall
my dinner
person
with
summit.
Andre Giant.
How about this?
Let's
How
have a
about
tall person summit.
Well, this week is Thanksgiving, so let's do something. We'll meet up next week.
I'm
Let's have
down.
Thanksgiving. Screw our families.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
yeah.
3 boys.
But the question is, what is it about all that constant movement that you find so motivating?
Well, I knew very young that, and I'm pretty sure I said this to my mom, but I knew very young I was going to do what I want, and I was going to do the things I love doing. I'll be frank, I got a job at McDonald's for 2 weeks when I was 16 years old. I came back and I said, I am never working for someone that's not me ever again.
Okay.
And I knew the things I loved, and I knew how hard it took, how much work it took. And I love the feeling of creating and making something that's not only mine, but might be someone else's. I do my best not to spread myself too thin. I suck at not spreading myself too thin all the time, but I find
think
a way.
the whole couch here is guilty of that. Absolutely.
It's overwhelming, but in the best way possible. So I knew, film, and I've been writing since I could talk. It's something that I need to be a creative or involved in the creative process, whether it's with a band in the studio or whether it's writing a script or doing the cinematography. I just love that, and that motivates me to know that that's all I want to do as I go forward. I'll do other things here and there, but those are my things. Those are the things I love. And that's the motivation. If I love it, I'm going to give it 150%, and you're going to either get annoyed by me or wonder why or when I sleep. And I'm okay with that. So that's kind of like my thing. And those motivate me to always try to be great in whatever. And I'm a little crazy. That's what that is. A little crazy.
Well, like Tom Waits says, a little drop of poison.
Yep, I got a lot of that. This guy's Dick. I love him so much.
I know, isn't he great?
Aren't I just the cutest
Yeah, my
thing you've
God,
ever
You're the
seen?
best.
It's
I
the
just
hair. It's the
you know what it is?
hair.
I want to just take your nose and just give it a squeeze.
That's off camera,
Give
baby.
it a squeeze.
I like that.
K.L. Martin,
Thank you very much.
thank you so
for
much.
having
This has
me.
been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thanks,
Sir.
Cal. Good God,
Thank
look at
you.
the size
All
of
right,
those
hold
hands.
on.
Matt, where do I read the ads today?
Okay,
Same place.
are we
just
gonna
stay
get
here?
a crane? Are we gonna get a crane here? Hold on.
My God.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Hold on, we gotta do a thing first. Corey, I promise you we're gonna get to you, dude. Like, we didn't just bring you around to do this. Am I over there? Oh, okay. I thought it was over there. Okay, hi. Anyway. Is this camera live?
I'd like to point out to the audience that I'm the only crew member here today, so I'm sorry.
So our producer Matt is making excuses for why things are happening the way they're happening. Is that live? Is that live camera? Or okay, hey, this week's episode of One More is brought to you by the Asbury Park Music Foundation. The APMF, or AMP if you're feeling frisky, raises money to support youth music programs throughout Asbury Park that provide lasting skills, self-confidence, and life-changing experiences for underserved kids in our community. This includes funding for the Hip Hop Institute at the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth, in-school music programs at Help Academy, and scholarships for kids to attend the Lake House Music Academy located just over there. APMF, or AMP, also sponsors events such as Suburbia Friday Nights, which bring a mix of hip-hop and rock on the first Friday of every month. Sunday Sessions will feature prominent acoustic performances. Girlzilla, December 1st, which showcases some of New Jersey's most talented female performers, and a very Asbury holiday show December 9th. If you're interested in keeping Asbury Park's legacy of music alive by making a meaningful difference for the underserved youth in our community, head to asburyparkmusiclives.org to make a donation. And while you're there, pick up a Music Saved Asbury Park t-shirt. All proceeds make it possible to support Music Save My Life youth program. Jim, thank you so much. We're going to do events. I'm going to introduce you. I promise you. We're not keeping you here prisoner. We're going to do this fast. All right. This week in events, Tuesday, November 20th, writer of such hits as My Hump, My Lovely Lady Lums, and that other Rick Astley song, Dave Vargo, presents the Pier Sections, featuring Tom Flynn and I Am Kirby, Peace Memorial Church at 7 p.m. Jesse McCormick, Kathy Quintana, and Brian Erickson, never heard of any of them, are at the downtown Red Bank at 8 p.m. Wednesday, November 21st, Tilly Stardust Bowie Tribute, featuring Dogs in a Pile and Feng Shui at the Stone Pony at 7 p.m. Funk Shui, excuse me. Thanksgiving Eve Bash with Trappa Magica, woo, Blue Money and Sunny Shine at the Sand at 7:30 p.m. Another Thanksgiving Eve with Seeger Country, Stonehenge, and Paralimes at Donegal Saloon at 9 p.m. And the Mercury Brothers, the Burns, and the Cranston Dean Band are going to be at the goddamn Chubby Pickle and Highlands. The Chubby Pickle, they got beer. What do we got? Thursday, November 22nd. Happy birthday, Renee and Daryl of Low Light. Happy Thanksgiving. Go be with your family. It's based on a bad tradition, but screw it. Pretend you like them. Friday, November 23rd. The Matt Cook Holiday Ball featuring ABC, Gwen Alden, Tom Bryan, and Matt Cook. State Gold Cafe in Belmar, 7 p.m. Back to Black, Amy Winehouse Tribute featuring Remember Jones at the Stone Pony at 7 p.m. Hassel, 918, Brian Rothenbeck and the Adventuring Party, and Not the Bees at Clash Bar at 8 p.m. That's the best band band name I've ever heard. And of course, welcome to the Dollhouse, a playful and glamorous evening of music by Lauren Patty, Sweet Baby Lauren, Bottle Blonde, and Blaze at the Asbury Park Yacht Club at 9:30 p.m. Why would you do anything else? It's Blaze. Saturday, November 24th. Happy birthday, Natalie from Well Wisher. That album's so good. Asbury Park Holiday Bazaar Convention Hall at 11 a.m. Rachel Anna Dobkin and the High Anxiety Blues Band's 2-year anniversary show at the Danny Clinch Gallery at 4 p.m. A/B The Band at the Bitter End at 6:30 p.m. Shut Up, Shellshag, X-Made, Spouter, and Daddies at the AP Brewery at 7 p.m. The Successful Failure to celebrate 50 years of the Beatles' White Album at the Record Collector at 7:30 a.m. And of course, no fucking big deal. The Burns are playing the Bitter End at 10 p.m. Nothing to see there. Don't worry about it. Also, it's my grandma's birthday. Sunday, November 25th, close out your weekend with 90.5 The Night's Brunch at the Boardwalk featuring Matty Carlock and Avery Mandeville, at Langosta Lounge at 1 p.m. And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's been watching this the whole night and having no idea what's going on, Corey RJ!
Well, what an intro. In my days, just a peek glad I was away. By my side you were left. Rest until daybreak. It's been too far long, and I still have to say what you never left. It's gone, faded into bittersweet sleep the days away. With free your mind, you barely lay. Wake into this world and drift away. Sleep the days away. Fall in love more and more and more each day. Have simply no clue how I begin the days without you. Reach for the feel good, begin, repeat. Finally, I swear I'm back up on my feet. Never thought it'd come to this, but all I do is swallow, choke, and I'll miss sleep the days away. Free your mind, your bed we lay. Wake into this world and we slowly drift away. Yeah, sleep the days away. Fall in love more and more and more each day. Still till this day. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Brian, and everybody for having me in. Just to add to your little show list, Wednesday, the 28th, Asbury Hotel. Have my partner Carrie there on the piano, if you can see that in frame. But that'll be next week, yeah. Oh, no, I'm just doing a little plug. Oh, I know.
Signal?
Yeah, just lost all power.
You're still getting them? Alright, looks like the pedals.
I'll tell some jokes.
Okay, I'll just stand up. Don't do that.
We're still getting audio in the camera. Right? We get audio in the feed?
I faintly hear it. It might be being picked up on the mic.
That was strange. Like, both my pedals went off.
It's one time at band camp.
Anyway.
So,
Brian, stop!
So what do we do?
Riff.
You want to get up there? Who's
No, we're good.
you're good. All right, good. All right.
That was a moment.
I was literally about to make some
I think I hit the thing too hard and it failed out on me. I was too good. When everything can go wrong, it will go wrong. You know the drill, right? I begin to communicate, but but it's already too late. And I'll sit and contemplate. What has life become? Trains take me north, directed toward my dreams and the things I love. Trains take me south towards home. One and only truest place you know. And you gotta take a chance. This point on, I won't say a word. I won't bite my tongue, even when you're wrong. From this point on, I won't say a word. I won't bite my tongue, even when you're wrong. From this point on, I won't say a word. Even when you're wrong. Thank you guys so very much. Just gonna do one more for you. Thank you guys so much for having me, and have a happy Thanksgiving. This last tune's called The Long Way Home. This one's about getting in a little bit of a pickle in a place called Nashville, Tennessee. And I won't tell you exactly what happened, but it doesn't involve anything very good. Maybe some hot chicken. Driving down to Nashville, Tennessee, yeah. Hopefully I'll find the inner me, but I failed. Lord wasn't watching me there, yeah. It's the long way home, no one will ever know. It's the fear alone when I've been driving there. It's nice to have you, yeah. Read a book in Dixon County, it's where some rednecks took a picture of me, and I smiled, 'cause I had the heart. Should've turned back from the start, yeah. It's the long way there, no one really cares. Are there aliens out there? 'Cause I have lost my mind. Woo! I was just glad the car was doing fine, yeah. Don't even know what to say anymore. Didn't even mail a letter to my front door, show up to court. Ask where's my officer? Sorry, son, he smoked your weed. He's not gonna be here.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you so much, man, for having me.
Yeah. So that song was about what I think it was about?
Yeah, I got in a little bit of trouble.
Oh yeah?
Getting on stage.
Got in a little trouble.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
That's, we'll find out.
All right, here we go. Will we all fit?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for playing. This is great. We're obviously going to have you and Kara back for the full couch and stage treatment in 2019. Before we get out of here, KL has a quick announcement
Yes. Oh, thank you. So,
that we forgot.
But we forgot. It was super.
It was.
You going to do a bit?
Yeah, no, this is a crazy bit. Right now, so 3143 Artist Management, as of 2019, will officially become a label. And we'll be releasing the Paper Jets album.
Who's that?
On December 7th, that show you're supposed to be at.
December
I think you're going to be there too, right?
I can't make it.
You're not going to make it? Oh, yeah, but yes, that's going to be. Yeah, right?
Sure, now I am.
But that'll be the first release of 3143 Artist as a label. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm glad it's you. That will be the first album to come out on it.
Well, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
I feel very short. I'm 6 foot. I feel short.
Yeah. You got a cool hat. It's fine.
Corey RJ, KL Martin, Bill Greenwood. For Chris Dubrow, I have been, and I remain Brian Erickson from the Asbury Music Foundation. We will see you next week. Good night.